Road cycling is what I found to be my true passion. I started with the U.S. national team when I was younger, probably maybe 14. I definitely had Olympic aspirations. I was shooting for the 2012 Olympics. I had a number of broken bones and things like that, but the biggest one that I haven't been able to recover from was my head injury. It left me in a condition where I couldn't recover from, fogginess, migraines. I thought I'd just race the rest of my life until I had to retire, but obviously things change. I wanted to pursue neuroengineering because I found after all the research I did from this head injury that there's nothing out there really for someone with a brain lesion, a head injury. So I wanted to do something, get into some type of research in that area where I could maybe make a difference. BMX is so cool. It's like football on wheels. I started when I was 4 racing BMX. I always wanted to race with the boys because obviously there weren't a lot of girls, especially at that time, racing BMX. I turned pro in BMX when I was 15. It really helped establish me as a cyclist and what I was capable of. Road cycling is what I found to be my true passion, and I found that I really loved it. Racing for the national team, I started traveling with them at a pretty young age, and then as I got older and older, the traveling amount increased. The crash was in September of 2010. The race was called the Ladies Tour of Holland at the time. I know that it was towards the end of the race with 10K to go, which obviously then more risks are being taken, higher speeds. I just know that it was pretty bad. But I never wanted to know how I crashed because I always thought that I was going to race again. My memory's pretty much swiped for that period of time. I had a number of head injuries before that one, but the last one that I had, it left me in a condition where I couldn't recover from pretty much constant pain from headaches and dizziness, fatigue. I did think I would recover, but I just never was able to. The first couple years were pretty brutal. I lived at home with my parents and just, didn't do anything except sit in a dark room to try to just make as little stimulation as possible, but yeah, that didn't work. It took me a while to realize that I couldn't race anymore, but once that came about, then I kind of had to switch my focus, and then that's whenever I got into biomedical engineering. I found after all the research I did from this head injury that there's nothing out there really for someone with a brain lesion. So I went and got my undergraduate degree in biomedical engineering, and at the time I thought that I would go to grad school later down the road for neuroengineering, and then kind of realized once I was in undergrad that I wanted to go on a bit of a different path and focus more on sepsis or bacterial infection in the blood. At that time, a lot of troops from Iraq and Afghanistan were coming back with multi-drug resistant bacteria infections that were untreatable with antibiotics. So the government issued calls for people to try to develop new technologies, and so I was working on extracting the bacteria with magnetic particles. So that was my initial funding for my grad school work. I submitted a grant to the National Science Foundation for funding. That's what initially basically helped start PathX. And the reason why we wanted to start this company is to help solve the problem of diagnosing and treating sepsis. Sepsis is the leading cause of death in our hospitals and our ICUs. If you're in the ICU with sepsis, you have a 38% chance of dying. So we had already known about TMC, and from that have heard about TMCX and all the innovation going on here. TMCX has been huge for connecting us to hospitals to do pilot studies. We wouldn't have gotten into these hospital systems if it hadn't been for TMCX. This is one of the PathX devices. This is for treating a septic patient. The device, the way it works is it can separate bacteria from healthy blood using inertial force. So we basically push the bacteria out of the flow of blood with our device. It's a method very similar to hemodialysis. Now I'm really thankful for where I am. Now I'm able to really make a positive impact and give back to other people, which is really important to me, and I really enjoy it. It's been a long road. I mean, I get a migraine every day now, but I can manage my lifestyle in a way where it doesn't happen until the evening. I mean, I can't train, without bringing on too many symptoms, but I can ride like really easy for like 30 minutes. I think it all played out for a reason.